Oops. So sorry for this interrup- interruption. So my system got jammed. Okay, so just resume it. Guess it says Kikuya. Okay, so okay, probably I'll just load the same set of games and open the Swidler's game. Okay, so where we left up here. So it's e4, e6, g4, d5, knight c3, knight f6, and then there's a close position. So this is where we left off, and Morozevich played with playing a knight d7, and then centralizing this with playing f4, c4 striking, so c5 striking the center, knight f3, defending the e4 pawn, then adding one more check with playing knight c6, then bishop d3 defending the pawn once more, and then a6 to prevent bishop b5, then queen g2, then striking again. Wow, so that's why I just love this Morozevich game. So he's quite aggressive with his play. So uh, probably threatening Swidler not to castle or long. Also keep this knight and just try to push up the center as fast as possible, I guess. So okay, he played a3, simply defending the b4 move. Bishop b7. Okay, pawn takes. Shouldn't have said this pawn. D takes c5. Bishop takes c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight takes c5, and then bishop d3. So that's the sequence of moves after some exchanges. Okay, now striking with b4. Wow. So he didn't take the pawn, which allows him to capture with a knight and have double attack on the bishop. So he just simply dropped back the knight to the e2 square. Then queen b6. Wow. Queen e3 move. We need a knight to the queen. I guess this also allows okay, so if knight captures bishop on d3, then queen captures d3. So okay, that would be the idea. Kicking the queen by playing what moves it? d4. Knight takes, should be knight f d4. Knight takes d4. Queen takes d4. Pawn takes, should be pawn, should be b takes a3. Rook takes a3, and then rook d8. Hmm. So after rook d8, queen plays back to e3, then queen each, so it's b2. So queen takes b2. Now the rook is on defender. Wow. So he sacrificed the knight to capture the other rook. Okay, got it. So he played queen takes b2, and then queen takes c5, and queen b1 check, king d2, queen takes h1, and then he kind of allows to capture the queen with check. So playing bishop, sorry, playing knight c3. He captures the other pawn. Queen takes h2, rook a4. Now he captures the other pawn by playing queen g2, king c1. Wow. So now attacking the queen as well as the knight. So probably you should be playing this, eyeing on this as well as defending the knight, I guess. So so after rook c8, yeah. So queen b4 played. Okay, now playing the check. Queen g1 check. Knight d1. Adding more attackers to the knight. Playing bishop f3. Rook takes a6. Why he didn't capture this? I don't know why he didn't capture this. Probably after queen captures with check, plays here, then you can't even castle here. Aha. So which allows him to play the forcing moves of checkmate. So check, king here, and pick the queen. Got the idea. Okay, so he played back. Uh, he played he plays back a queen c5, queen a4, sliding the king to d. It's not d. It's f8. Here rook a5, queen backs to g2, g1. So now the king is safe as well. So you can keep the check. So I'll just line in. So there are no more checks. So allowing to capture. So probably this can be defended here, right? Hmm, got it. Okay, so let's do this with the stoppage. What engine am I using here? Just go for no, probably in the chess I have engines, right? I don't know. Where's the? I guess probably I'm using okay, I'm using 17.1, I guess. Yeah, I'm using 17.1. Okay, so just analyze with the engine. So it's same sequence of moves where the French defense is played. The main line, knight c3 and knight f6. So we have a closed position. Playing a5. So knight d7. So where to see the rotation of the game? So probably I'll just how do we do that? Uh, Mode right. Um, Probably engine up. No. Probably the rotation up here. Now mode right. This is much better, I guess. So can have a command editor. Okay, got it. Hmm. So after this position, okay, what's the best one recommended by the ancient? F4 is the best one recommended by the ancient. F4 played. F4 C5, knight F3, knight C6, C takes D4. Bishop is striking the center. D6. So C takes D4 is the move, but he didn't go for that line. So yeah. So after this, C takes D4 is the move, but he didn't play C takes D4. He played the A6 move. So after A6, Queen D2, Bishop E7. He didn't play Bishop E7. Instead, he tried with B4. Hash A3 is played. Okay, then Bishop D7. Sorry, Bishop B7. Then D takes C5. Bishop takes C5. Bishop takes C5. Knight takes C5. Bishop D3 is giving up. Okay, here is the position of his knight is much better than a bishop, so he's okay to give that up. And then striking with b4, knight e2, queen b6, queen e3, striking with d4, knight f takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop takes a4, bishop takes a4. Sorry, pawn takes, sorry, b takes a3, rook takes a3, rook d8, queen back to e3, queen takes b2, queen takes c5, queen b1 check, king d2, queen takes h1, knight c3, queen takes h2, bishop, sorry, rook a4. So where's the blender here? Yeah, so this is a blender. So rook takes d3. So it should be castling. Okay. After castle itself, this captures. Okay, this is directly hitting this. So after this is gonna be captured. So castling is much better move. We didn't do that. We captured this. So rook b1 check and captures. And queen takes h2. Why not this? Okay, this pawn can be for sure captured. So he takes with this. So even in some moves he attacks. Sorry, he attacks the bishop. He can just simply capture. Now queen takes f4 check. You're giving two possibilities for the captures. So h2. So after this, okay, rook a4 to defend this thing. So now it takes with the g2. So king c1, rook c8, queen b4, rook takes c3 is a good move. Also, you can just play the queen c1 check. So that's the move that actually happened in the game. So queen g1 check. So knight d1, bishop f3, rook a6. So yeah, so if we actually captures, then king b2. So what is the move? Let's say he plays queen d2. Wow, he should be giving the queen. So let's say play queen g2. Still it's a mate because and just simply play this move. He captures. It takes with this. Which is a draw. So should be taking with this. Queen b4. So bishop takes a b. Sorry, queen takes d2 is the move. So probably should be sacking the queen. So let's say I'll just play back to some other checks like this. Doesn't work. So bishop takes c2. So queen is under attack. So probably there is no castling and the king is open. So let me sell this move back. So yeah, now we can just see the same sequence of move. Bishop b5. So bishop b6 is the move. Can just go with the same. Rook takes c6. Rook takes c6. So queen a1 check captures. Rook a8 check. Rook a2 check. Rook f6. So now playing a rook c7 check. Rook c7 is mate into. Yeah. So that's the whole sequence of moves. How to capture the knight. So after this move, uh, so take c5 is better, but he didn't do that. So after this, queen slides, king slider. So now back with a g1. So now we can just do the same things almost. Let's say he plays the queen b4 check. I'll just slide to queen g8, and then so whatever moves he play will be lost. So let's say okay, let's go with the lines. I can just simply capture this. It is type of mate, or we can yeah, so we can just simply capture, and I'm up a full knight. So in the whole game, Valid Sweden made the mistake. So let's go over here. So e4, e6, d4, d5, knight takes, knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight of d7, f4, c5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop e3. So c takes d4 is a move, but he goes for a6. Then queen d2, b5, a3, bishop b7. So pawn takes d4. Well, it's not d, it's c5. Bishop takes c5, bishop takes c5, knight takes c5. And then bishop d3. So a b4, knight back to e2, queen b6, queen d3, so queen e3, e g4, knight f takes d4, knight takes d4, queen takes d4, bishop takes, sorry, b takes a3, rook takes a3, rook d8, rook e3, rook takes b2, queen takes b2. So yeah, here is the thing where he blended the game. He should be playing after this move. He should be playing a castle. So castling was good because the rook is defending directly. Because Swindler should be seeing these variations. I don't know why he didn't see that. Maybe he might be on time pressure. No, he's on time pressure because it's just a final 20 or something. Captures, check and captures another rook as well. Captures and bishop. Mm-hmm. So that's a nice. Okay, I don't know how do we just remember uh coordinates. So remembering just memorizing just coordinates. So okay, I'll just start. I have C5, C6R, F7, G2, and what's the thing? G4, A3, B6, H7, C1, D6, F5, C5, F5, C5, H6, F2, B3, B6, D7. Oh, time's up. Oh, probably. So H3, D6, D5, G1, E1, H4, D1, G4, G3, D7, B4, D1, D5, H1, H3, D8, G7, G1, H7. So now let's start again. B2, A3, E8, H6, A3, F8, F1, F2, E1, A8, B3, E1, A7, G8, A6, A5, H7, E8, B8, A5, C1. So probably I should be trying this coordinates thing again. So first I'll just click on the coordinates, then I should be doing with the pieces as well. So let's start again. So E5, oh shit, it's a D5. Okay, E5, E6, B2, E4, F8, F3, B1, B6, C8, D6, yeah, sorry, F7, C3, D7, B2, C8, A1, A7, C3. So probably I've made a multiple mistakes. So we'll just go for moves maybe. So king d7, bishop f4, knight c7, king h3, bishop g2, king c8, rook h3, bishop b6, king g4, rook h2, bishop d2, rook c2, rook g6. So this is probably all the coordinates. We'll start with the coordinates now. H1, B3, B3, F4, C6, D4, G1, C4, B4, C7, B2, A4, sorry, it's A5, A5, C5, C7, H4, D3, E3, E1, G5. Oops, time's up. Okay, I'll just try with a black. D4. Wait a minute, I'll just. What's the thing? So B4, right? So B4, A2, G2, G1, H6, F8, C7, D7, F4, B7. Uh, so the most effective way is to, yeah, just practice. Understood. Oh wow, Litus also has the vision trainer. Probably you're talking about the coordinates that have 34, right? Wait a second. Okay, they're just doing the actions using the muscle memory, I guess. Third point Douglas this time lights off even off before the ball is kicked. Oh wow. Hmm, that's awesome, bro. Wow, that's really amazing. Okay, so the visual memory in chess helps in calculation, being able to move the pieces and still see them without actually moving them. So this makes it an essential skill in every part of the game after initial memorization of the opening sequence. So this handles the skill, so the training of the skill, especially in very anxious players. If you are a coach and you find that there are any students stuck in the beginner phases of the learning, open training, visual memory can give them a boost they need to move forward. If you're an expert, there's a good chance that you have a strong visual memory already. I'm not an expert, I'm just a beginner. So H3, H6, A3. Okay, so drill 1 is conquered. So this drill is fairly popular. So within judge if you have come across it, mark all the squares that the queen has in common. For example, both queens might move to F4, square on this turn. So F4 would get a mark. Okay, so both queens can move to, oh, oh sorry, should be marking that. Probably have these are all squares, right? What else? Just open this book. Yeah, so that's the solution. Let's move to the next chapter. Oh shit, I should also mark everything, right? So this is an example. So yeah, probably I'll just mark this. What else? Okay, next chapter. Okay, this squares. What else? Roving the queens onto random squares on the chessboard. Different piles and racks create a repeatable exercise to mark square sequence and begin the visual memory process. So the one queen is on b3, another queen is on d7. So just remember the board in my mind. I'm playing as a white, so a is on the leftmost, h is on the rightmost. So queen is on b3, and the other queen is on d7. So b3 and d7. Okay, just remember the position. So now I should be visually drawing. So I'm just currently closing my eyes and trying to visualize the whole question in my brain. So I can just see the chessboard with a blue and a white chessboard, maybe with the whole board. I'm just having the queen on b3, another queen on the d7. So actually, they both have a common square sharing in between them, and I can just also name them. I'll just try to name them. I don't know whether I can name it all of them, but I'll just try to do them. So b3, so d. Okay, so b3 queen and d7 queen, right? So d1, d3, d5. So these three squares are in the d diagonal, and along the so in the d5, and along the third rank, uh, I can just see yeah, same d3, and then I can see the last thing up here, so which is h3. So d3 and h3 are the moves is or the squares that are commonly shared by both of these queens, and then so I should be also seeing the horizontal square of the b3 queen. So it's b5 and b7 also shared, and along the diagonal I can see it's d7, right? So e7, s7. So yeah, I guess these are all squares. So I can't just completely visualize the whole chessboard in my mind, even with the two pieces. Then how the fuck that these guys are just doing multiple boards in their brain? So that's awesome, bro. That's literally awesome. So just try to practice by running the whole board in my brain. So I'm playing as a white. It's quite easy to remove for me as when I compare with I'm playing so black. So as a black also should be playing the thing right. So one it's us playing as a black starts with a H in the left hand and eight in the lowermost part. So A in the right hand and one in the topmost part. So should be also be training the qualities for while playing as black as well. Okay, let's go for the next chapter, which is the completion. So if a coach happens to have a group of students in person, this build can be active for a very large group. So have each set drop their own queen onto their board and then quickly fill the common square using pawns. So the player with more of their own card pawns on the board currently gets a point. So probably should be placing pawns on the squares and with the queen chess. Got it. What's the advanced thing? So the queen drill falls short of creating mission memory for every piece in chess. So there are only two linear pieces aside from the queen, namely the bishop and the rook. Yeah. Uh, so to rank the knights also add an advanced rule to the riddle. The queens may also move like knights. So this addition cranks the queen, cranks the knight movement and also adds the beginning more squash to the complete competition version of riddle one. So assuming the queens are placed close enough together. Hmm. Okay, and just move for the next thing. So these are the different drills. So I should be practicing each and every drill at least 20 20 minutes a day. So not every drill, but a drill per day, at least 20 minutes. So unfortunately, okay, half blind opening. So unfortunately, this drill is unplayable online at this time. Play the board a rare set of pieces. A willing opponent is also hacked for. Play the board, turn to no pieces. As soon as you move a piece, it becomes visible. But you still have to remember all of the pieces in the starting positions. Uh, mhm. Okay, so probably making some random questions in an empty board and then should be calculating the moves in your head. So the positions that move in your head is played in the board, but should actually remember the initial position. That's the drill, right? Okay, so just try to remember the whole thing in my brain itself. So just starting with white, because I'm just quite strong with white. I'll just try to imagine the whole board as playing as a white. So white and black. I'll just say I have every pieces in my board, and I played e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, which is an Italian sequence. E4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5. Sorry, bishop b5 is reverse. Then bishop c4 is the Italian. So it shouldn't be confusing that two things. So when I just try to play the opening as more as want, I can just remember the questions in my mind. So probably I should be having some kind of checkpoints or some kind of visual intermediate images where I can just compare with my positions. For example, if I'm having a two knights on c3 and f3 and c6 and bishop on b5, so it's an Italian. So when you just name it a thing with the position, then you can just remember it in a better way. Okay, I'll just move to the next chapter. So white has played e4 in the half line opening. Okay, so the remaining 15 pieces, white pieces still exist, but are invisible until they have moved. So after each move, run through the pieces on the back row in your mind and remember what they are and why they are. It also helps to notice when pieces are free to move, like a bishop at f1 is not free to develop. Do not move pieces through invisible pawns. Got it? So probably I'll just play the pieces into the board. Okay, there's a half blind opening. Wow, wow, that's really great. So I guess this is how the GM's train. Not sure about it, but it looks great. So yeah, I'm just playing e4. So this allows the f bishop to open to the white diagonal. So this diagonal is now open, and the queen can also come out along this diagonal. So yeah. So let's say next I play the d4 move. So after playing d4, the c diagonal bishop is also open now. I also have a central three move for my queen to be played. So actually, I should be remembering this whole thing in my mind, or even I can just see the board. Still, I can just see the pieces, right? So I can just still watch the board. But most probably, I'll just try to remove the whole position in my brain. So try to kind of like visualize the whole chessboard in my brain, and then arrange the pieces and move e4. Let's say he plays e5. Now I have the bishop to become up to be c4. Let's say, so he can just strike with the center by playing a d5. So he captures d5. Probably a knight develop much after this move. So playing a knight f6, so knight c6, and then let's say just develop my knight as well, knight f3. So now striking with the center of g5, pawn takes d5, knight takes d5, bishop takes d5, queen takes d5. Now I can see the queen is on the d5 square. I have a pawn. Okay, I have a knight on f3. So my piece is undeveloped, and he has a queen and bishop on d5 and e5 squares respectively. Okay, I'll just move on to the next chapter. So half blind opening. So the game has just finished the move 4 in a ruler burst. So this drill also dubs opening training tool for raw beginners. If you also want your student to see the damage they cause by moving a piece two or more times in the opening, however showing them without a clash of invisible pieces. So what's this actually? Okay, just try to remember this whole question. Let me take a 5 to 10 seconds to just note down the position. Okay, now I just close my eyes. I try to say the coordinates of each and every pieces in the book. So I have a white, sorry, I have chessboard in front of me. I'm just playing so white. Our bishop on a4, our knight on f4, our pawn on e. Oh, it's on f4. Sorry, I guess I made a mistake here. So actually, I can't have knight on f4. It should be on f3. So bishop on a4, knight on f3, and I've just played the. Okay, it's basically it's a rule number, so I can just remember the whole position in my brain from its comes. So I can just play e4, e5, knight f3, and knight c6, and I'll just play bishop b5. So he kicks away. So we're playing a6. I'll just drop my bishop to a4. So a6, a6, we have a pawn, a4 we have a pawn, so we have a knight on the c6 square, and finally black completes the development by playing knight f6. So probably having two knights, which is on c6 and f6, and the pawns over there on e4 and e5. So I guess we have played a result first. So a6 pawn kick the bishop back to the a4, and then we have a knight on f3. So yeah, so that's the whole thing. So I can just remember the whole sequence of openings. Okay, so I should be probably trying to link this vision in a reasonable way. So if I don't do that, then I'm actually getting into trouble. I can't remember the positions because I should be having some kind of pattern matching to something else to remember it better. Okay, so go deep as possible into each opening sequence. After each move, ask yourself which moves are still invincible from both sides. So write down your moves so you can display them with a full set to check your answers. Students often play pieces through pawns and make other illegal moves in first few attempts at this. That's actually true. So you should be careful on other places of the remaining pieces as well. So I'm currently closing my eye. I just try to replay this whole roller coaster in my mind and just see what are the pieces that I can just move or I can just go deeper into this line. So I can just play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, then bishop b5, a6, bishop b4, or knight f6. So after the sequence of moves, so still my central pawn on the d is not yet open and didn't have castled yet. My bishops are out. So I just free the bishop and knight on the king side, so I can just castle on the king side. So castling on the king side is a better move. Yeah, I'll just castle on the king side. Now, defending the center e pawn with playing a d6. So d6 supports the e5 pawn, and now I should be probably developing the other knight as well by playing a knight c3. So or even just play c3 so that I can just free up the square for the bishop on c2. So sorry, bishop to be played as c2. So the bishop is currently on a4, so I can just play bishop c2, targeting on the e5 pawn, so which is actually defended by d6 right now. Then I can just also strike at the center by playing a d4 because d4 e takes d4 pawn takes e takes d4 c takes d4 knight can't takes d4 because the queen becomes the d4, and also I can just develop a knight to the c3 square so for the further central strength. So yeah, um I'm currently opening my iPad. So yeah, this is the actual move played in this game, I guess. So probably e4, e5, knight a3, knight e6, bishop b5, a6, bishop a4, knight f6. So after knight f6, yeah, we just short castle, and he played a d6 move to defend the pawn, and I played c3, which is actually giving up some way for the bishop to be dropped back. Okay, so let's move to the next chapter, which is square color. So this drill is done with the help of the chessboard. So memorize the color of square of A1, then look away from the chessboard, ask yourself what the color of D4. Try various squares on the chessboard to see if you can just visualize where it is and what color it is. Hmm. Okay, for this, I guess I can just make some kind of patterns for it. So probably, uh, so if you just sum up the values, if it is even, it is dot square. If it is odd, then it's a white square. So that's what I just usually use. So let's say I'll just name the alphabets A to H as 1 to 8. So I'll just say a is 1, so 1 plus 1, so a1 should be 1 plus 1, which is even, so it's a dot square. So a2, which is obviously a white square, plus a 1 plus 2 is a 3, which is an odd. So probably I'll just do like that. So d4 is a 4 plus 4, which is 8, so which is even, so it's a dot square. So d4 is a dot square. So this goes on like that. I guess it is an easy way to calculate, but I shouldn't be calculating. You should be visualizing it, right? So I'm just visualizing the whole chessboard. I should be seeing every each and every pieces, and I should be able to look into the curve of the piece instead of calculating it by some simple algorithm. Okay, let's say e7. So e7 is okay. I'll just try to visualize the board and just see what color is e7. Then I'll just try to verify whether the color is correct or not by using my logic. So e7. Uh, so g7 is dog f e. So g7 is dog. So e7 should also be dog because f is a y. So e7 is a dog square. So I can just check it with the algorithm. So E is 5. So 7 is 12. So sum of is even. So it should be a dog square. So then let's say h4. So h4 is a dog square because 8 plus 4 12 dog. And then let's say c8. So c8 is also a dog square. No, it is not a dog square, it's a white square. Because it starts with c and it's with it doesn't end with white. Sorry, it doesn't end with a dog square, it ends with a white square. Also, you can just replace 3 plus 8 is 11, which is white. But the only case or scenario here is that I'm not just visualizing and recording the squares on its coordinates and its colors. Instead, I'm just trying to calculate the whole colors by just remembering the algorithm. So I'm just trying to apply the algorithm to the coordinates and just trying to figure what color it is. Let's say you don't see the whole thing. You don't see the whole coordinates as well. So what's the visualization actually happens in your mind? So basically, if I just see the dark square on the left bottom part, then it is I'm just playing the white. And if I see white square on the left bottom part, then I'm just playing with the black. It's kind of like a quite opposite to what actually I'm playing. So if it is over white, then I just play with, sorry, if the square of A1 is white, not the A1, the left bottommost is black, then I'm just playing with white. So the coordinate of that square is A1. While if I'm just playing with a black, then the left bottom square is of a white, and it is named as H8. Okay, I'll just go to the next chapter, which actually is the crush. So we're starting with this drill. It can help to have a chessboard turned upside down in front of you. Ask yourself the question, why is the chessboard is the square I'm trying to make? So place a marker outward in the rough location where this square might. You will be able to see it. You could also do this onto the empty table, visualizing the chessboard or on a blank notebook, etc. Probably have a notebook which I just drawn the chess board on it. Okay, it's kind of like trying to find the square on the chessboard without even seeing it. Okay, next thing is when you're proficient in naming square colors blind, add a knight to a mental chessboard. Do not look at the chessboard for the center. Place it on an random square in your mind. We'll put odds on g4 in this example. Without looking at the chessboard, name the squares to which a knight may move on this turn. It might help to write was squares down in order to check them after. It might help to write your squares down in order to check them after. So possibly I should be placing some knight on the free chessboard. Let's say I'm just placing the knight on e5. So what's the e5? E5 square is a black, so the knight can move all the white squares. It can possibly move 8 different places. So it's of e5, right? So from e5 it can move to d2, I guess. Um, okay, I'll just try to. Nope, not G2. So this probably can just move to D3. Okay, yeah, d3. So if we can move to d3, then we can also move four squares from that thing. So it's d7 as well. So it can move a square left and top to it, which is actually it's d3, right? So it should be of c4, and then two squares from c4 to c6. So again, can be say d7. So two squares from it, it can play g7 as well, and g3 as well, and then so d7 g3. It's d left one square, so it's f7 and f3, and it can play g6 and g4 as well. So these are the four squares, right? So probably one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, and eight. So just name these squares. That's it. So, so we're just starting with e5. So then you can probably just try to connect it one square. Just add four up to it, a left and top right to it, and two against that. So okay, I don't know. I'm just doing the wrong thing, I guess. I'm just trying to calculate the positions, not trying to visualize it by moving the pieces actually in my brain. I don't know, like I can't visualize it properly. So it's quite tough, bro. It's quite tough. So it's on the knight is on a5, so it can move to d3. So c4, c6, d3, 4 against the value of d7, and then f7, f3, g4, and g6. Okay, I guess I got it right this time, but I should be practicing more on that, right? So don't look at the chessboard during the drill. Name or write two squares on the chessboard. Visualize they appear on the same diagram without looking at the chessboard. For example, c3 and g6. Or 4 on the same diagram without looking at the chessboard. This tricky at first, okay? Just close my eyes and just check c3 and g6 are on the same diagonal or not. So it's quite easy. I guess it's quite easy to calculate based on some algos. Let's say try to, so it should be greater than that, okay? So 3 and 6, okay? It's actually adding up to 9, so they are matching up in the vertical way. To match up in the horizontal way, C is in the third thing, G is in second thing, so they don't match up in the vertical way. So in the horizontal way, so it doesn't match. So I'm just calculating this right. Probably I should be visualizing it. So I have a board, I'm just playing as a white. So it just plays a pawn on c3 and a pawn on g6 and matching whether so it's a c3, so c3 diagonal has g2, not a g6, so g7, not g6. Probably this doesn't work. Yeah, it's looking hard to visualize the whole thing in my brain. Okay, so I have just have an advanced variation of it where do not look at the chessboard for this drill. Start a knight on a1 in your visual memory. Okay, look away from the board and ask yourself how many squares it takes knight to reach a random square. For this example, we'll use e5. We find that it takes four moves on its shortest path. If you really want to work out, count how many different paths the knight might take to reach e4 in four moves. You will find several. Yeah, that's really true. So yeah, the drills are quite hard. It's getting harder and harder. So I'll just visualize the knight is on a1 square. So actually I can just move two squares from the corner of knight. One is b3, another is a d2, sorry c2. So b3 and c2 are the most. So the actual square that I need to reach is e5, right? So b3, d2. So from d2 I can reach e5. Is it possible? No, you can't reach e5. So you can reach e4, not e5. So b3. So from b3, I can I can go to, so both of these moves can lead to e4 but not e5. So how do I reroute so that I can just reach e5? So from e4 I can play d1, c3, and wait, I actually don't have a bishop, sorry, a knight on d3, right? I can actually move to b3 and c2, not d2. So from c2 I can move to d4. So from d4, I can move down to. Okay, actually, both of these moves, b3 and c2, can move to d4. So from d4, okay, from d4, I can just reroute my knight into two. Okay, so d4 and e5 are also diagonal, so I can just shift the knight a slight right or up so that I can just reach to the e5 square. Let's say from d4 I move to d3, e3, f3. Okay, so I'm just moving to f3 from d4. So from f3 I can go to e5. Similarly for the upper hand side. So I can move to uh, c5. So I can move to c5. No, I can't move to d4 to c5. I can move to c6. Okay. So I'm just moving to c6. So c6 to e5 is possible? Yeah, it's possible. So what I'm just calculating my brain is I can move from here. I'll just close this. So I have a knight on this. So I can go to b3 and c2. So from here, both of the things can go to the d4 square. So from d4 to reach e5, I should be either moving this way or this way, so that I can just reroute this way. So that's the actual thing that actually happens in my mind. So d4, so I can move to c6 to reach e5 or f3 to reach e5. Wow, that's completely getting hard, bro. So to visualize this simple routing of knights, just taking consuming much more energy than I actually thought. Okay, I'll just move to the full blind opening. So this drill is how it sounds: playing the opening blind by yourself or with an opponent. Do not look at the chessboard for this drill. I don't have moves on a score sheet, so you can just check your moves for quality and legality. So play two. Move 5 and then check to see if you made all the legal moves. Rinse and repeat for different opening. Go to move 7 to move 10 and then as far as you can go blind. Whenever any illegal moves made or when you can no longer remember everything, play the game back from the memory with real pieces. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice, bro. So I guess I can just play maybe a one or two opening till 6 to 7 moves without actually seeing the pieces, but it will be getting tougher if I don't see the board or try to play the whole game without seeing the boards. Okay, the last drill, which is advanced. So this can be used as an opening memorization tool for more advanced students. So after you have played to the end of your opening line, check at chess database to see if your moves follow the opening path, like them to fall. Okay, so trying to having visual memory of the whole chessboard and the moves that you have played in your brain, then trying to verify or check it with the chess database and how we can just play them. For example, I have a Scotch gambit in my mind. Let's say I'll just play e4, a5, knight f3, knight c6, and then I strike upon the center by playing d4. And so from this, I should be calculating the different variations in my brain by saying the chess database. Let's say in the chess database in that game they have captured the d4 pawn, so e takes d4, and then knight takes d4, knight takes d4, and then bishop probably bishop c5 and then bishop bishop e3 queen f3 the game goes on like that. So see, actually, I can't visualize after two or three moves, so my brain is getting dumber and dumber. Um, so actually, I should be practicing this session more and more to actually get a good hands on it. Okay, got the idea. So finally, thanks. That's all I'm giving you for fame. I hope you can just remember a ton of 10 to this with that. Drop me a note if this helps. Yeah, bro, it's actually great. So how can I just love this? Okay, just give a heart. And also should be Dr. Hack. Wow, he's a great player though. You know how much games that I've played. I'll just go and search for my probably 500 games in Bulat. Okay, he's good with classical chess. That's nice. So he reached 24 on puzzles. What's my puzzles? So this sold. So I sold much more puzzles. I sold around 1,300. I don't know if I just play the Blitz, I think I can easily reach somewhere around of 2100 2150. So Rapid also guess it's the same thing. You can just go to 2100 plus. So I'm not sure about the classical because I can't spend I can't spend that much time playing a classical chess, but still I don't want to do that. Okay, let's go for the corner training. Okay, I have an infinite time. I can let's train with white first, then I'll just start with don't show the pieces. Okay, F5, E2, B4, C4, C1, E2, E2, B4, F6, B4, C3, E1, G2, D3, H2, D6, C4, H6, A2, D3, B4, C3, B5, D4, F6, A8, C5, G2, C2, D1, D4, E3, B8, D4, H8, G1, H5, B7, D3, D6, B8, F4, D8, C3, C3, D7, C2, E6, E6, G3, B7, C3, B4, E8, D7, E1, C3, A1, D2, A4, E5, H3, A8, H2, E1, H8, F8, H5, A1, C3, E2, B6, E4, B6, H8, E3, D8, D8, H2, sorry, H2, D8, G7, A1, B8, B4, F6, C2, E7, C8, G1, E6, E6, D5, H3, A8, C2, C2, H1, B8, A2, H8, F7, E2, F4, F4 G8 H4 G1 A8 H7 H4 G1 C7 H4 D4 C1 D4 C3 G2 E7. So I'm just playing with much errors. I do know that, but I don't know how do I just get improved. Just do it. That's the only way to get improved, right? That's what I'm just following up here. So actually, I guess I'm not forming. I'm not forming any kinds of pattern in remembering things, because I should be forming some kind of patterns up here so that I can just so that I can just wait a minute. Yeah, so that I can just form some kind of relation between each and everything. But I'm just not doing that actually. G5, right? So it's a C4, F6, F4, G5, B8, C7, F1. So actually, I guess I'll just play this till I reach 200 maybe. So F8. Okay, I'll just have a go. I should not be making any errors till the next 50 points. So I'll just go with this. So D7. So E4, D5, E6, F6, G7, F7, G4, E8. Sorry, F8, that's E8. So D2. So when I just try to play the thing errorless, my score is not moving as fast as this, right? So let's try to play as fast as possible. A2, C4, B1, sorry, B1, G6, G2, H7, D6, D6, E1, A4, G3, B4, F5, B5, B5, A1, F6, F6, B5, F1, C4, C2, G8, A7, C5, A8, G8, D5, C4, H8, G2, C2, D7, H4, A3, E7, C4, as D3, so D3, G4, F6, E7, D1, A6, B4, A4, G7, H4, E1, A3, B8, C7, H1, D5, H4, G8, C4, E7, A8, A8, C4, G3, C2, G7, F6, C2, B4, B3, B4, A8, C2, E1, B7, E6, A8, D2, G7, A4, F7, A4, A3, A5, H4, B7, E4, E4, D6, F1, F3, A6, A4, E6, A5. So I guess should be practicing it, right? So just remember it. So this is DE, ABC, FG touch. So FG touch. So D4, E3, G5, E4, C1, G4. That's 5 row. Just remember this 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. This is 4, 5. 4, 5. Just remember. So this is D4, A2, G7, B1, B8, D6, E1. That's our D6, E1. So probably I guess I'll just remember like this. 2, 2, 2, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So E, this is DE, right? So E1, E8, G1, E6, F8. So this is F, F8, B7, F8, A5, H1, A2, G7, C6, D4, G7, C1, F5, B2, D4, H2, H6, E1. So I guess this is probably better. So this is E1. So A7, F8, G7, D3, F8, E2. So probably I should be relating each and everything. So this is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So D and E are in center. So C's opposite is F, B's opposite is G, A's opposite is H. So I'm just linking along this way. So sorry. So A, sorry. Let's just open the tools and just go on. This is what's this thing called? Training coordinate, right? I'll just bookmark this thing. I don't have a chance. Okay. So now I'll just go to the analysis. So just turn off the engine, no every rotations. So A and H, G and C, so G and B, C and F, D and E. So just remembering these things of combo. So A H B G C F D E, and then in the reversal way, H G F E D C B A, H G F E D C B A, A B C D E F G H, and H G F E D C B A. So while I'm reciting this thing, I can just remember the whole sequence, but when I try to visualize or play the thing in the game, I don't catch up with it. Also, in places where the time pressure is quite high, just completely get out of the board. That's what each and every play, even the top GMs or out of the play, right? So actually, I'm not sure. Do every GMs remember the whole position and right? Possibly each and everyone will just try to remember the whole board in their mind. At least the players who have been rating above 2600 or 2700, I guess. So, but still they're just doing mistakes, right? What might be the reason? So they're just forcing the whole thing, I guess. I'm not sure. Probably once you reach that level, you might you might come to know about that. So yeah, so I guess we'll try to mark some patterns that would be very right. So I guess I should be training on the solution coordinates and the moves thing. So thanks Dr. Hack for the training. So probably I'll just yeah. So I'll just how to bookmark this thing? Probably I'll just bookmark this just I'll try to sign in. I don't know. You can ask me username. What's the notification? Uh, I don't know who is. Who is? Who is he, bro? But when did I just play with him? Uh, can't we see that? 12 hours ago, 22:54. So I do have the time, but uh, I don't know on this. Country, do I need to say this? Probably Earth. That's enough. Don't have any of these things. Social media link. Probably I'll just show my get over here. What else? Wow. We could just generate the chess insights. How do I just some of the games used to generate this insight? Okay, black on the game. Possibly capturing this, rose this, and still not losing position, right? Hmm. What is silicone loss? Okay, probably I'll just end the stream now. I've got some of the works to do right now. I'll just catch up later.